I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not crying at all. Welcome back, everyone. Now, today we have a very special episode because we're going to be watching the last Godzilla movie. Not really the last Godzilla movie ever. It's one of the last Godzilla movies. If we're getting technical, it's the second last Godzilla movie. Godzilla vs. Destoroyah, or Destoroyah, or however the hell it's pronounced. The movie immediately begins with Godzilla destroying Hong Kong, pretty fitting for his second last movie. You may notice Godzilla has quite the fever with his glowing body and red atomic breath. Supposedly, Godzilla is becoming too powerful for his own good, and is literally having an atomic meltdown. How do they know this? From a college kid, of course. Apparently this kid's father was adopted by the scientist who helped kill the original Godzilla 40 years ago.
So your father, he was Dr. Yamani's son, is that right?
His adopted son.
That guy definitely wasn't prepared for his picture to be taken.
As you know by now, nuclear fission is Godzilla's source of energy. But of course this power plant has to be cooled by air and water.
They then get the college student to join G Center, an organization dedicated to stopping Godzilla.
So what'll happen now?
Godzilla will increase in power. And finally, he will explode.
Are you quite sure?
We then cut to a scientist who's explaining how he can manipulate oxygen particles, which will make food easier to grow. This is the same invention that was weaponized to destroy oxygen, which is how Japan killed the original Godzilla. Of course, the scientist is confronted about weaponization concerns.
So it is possible. Any weapon made this way would be extremely effective. However, I don't think anybody in this day and age would want to risk provoking a global war.
Anyways, apparently when Godzilla explodes, it's going to destroy the world. Damn. This leaves our characters with two choices. They can either freeze Godzilla or kill him with the oxygen destroyer like the first one. One of the members of G Center wants to spare Godzilla, and the interesting thing about her is not only is she the only character who was in the 5 previous movies, but she can also telepathically speak with Godzilla. What the fuck? Anyways, the water is heating up where the original Godzilla was killed, so they take dirt from the site, and lo and behold, there was something in that dirt. We then cut to an aquarium within the same facility, and holy shit, what the hell is happening? Well, I guess that's what happens when oxygen's destroyed. But what's destroying the oxygen? Our characters actually find out after enhancing the shit out of security footage. This thing, a little bug. Apparently it's able to destroy and eat oxygen in order to grow. Later that night, there seems to be a ruckus at a local business building, and police and/or space marines are sent to check it out. This getup seems oddly familiar.
Huh?
I think Napoleon Dynamite had a scene like this. They are then immediately ambushed by a giant crab that spits black holes, and there's a lot of them. And these just came out from this little guy? Shit, that's quite the leap. So an actually pretty crazy fight between the cops and these crab things ensue. And of course one of our reporter characters gets caught in the mix. Okay, now this movie's definitely ripping off Napoleon Dynamite. Our character is able to escape, but we learn the creatures can't be killed and can only be contained by fire. Things then get worse with Godzilla showing up, but luckily our characters at G-Center were able to build a giant jet with freezing lasers called the Super X-3. Wait a minute, when does this movie take place again? "1996. A giant jet with freezing cannons sounds pretty plausible to me." So the jet uses Ice Beam on Godzilla, and it's actually super effective, but for only so long, since apparently he'll be frozen for 6 hours. So the giant bugs are being contained in the building, and Godzilla's frozen on the ocean floor. Surprisingly enough, this is where the movie gets good, because BAM! Another Godzilla is introduced. This is actually Godzilla's son, and his official name is Godzilla Jr. Now, this isn't the first time we see Godzilla Jr. He actually pops up in previous movies, and he looks, yeah. But in this movie, he's badass, and this telepathic bitch loves him. While Godzilla Jr. is doing his own thing, the bug issue is of course getting worse. The bugs have grown so large that tanks get involved. It is then revealed they are able to combine into a super bug, which then morphs into a flying dinosaur whale. What the shit? Of course, with two monsters roaming around, there's gotta be a fight, and that's exactly what happens. I don't get why the monster reverts back into a crab when it lands on the ground, but other than that, the fight is pretty sweet. Jesus, I feel like we're watching Mechagodzilla. But he ultimately beats the crab/whale/dinosaur thing with his atomic breath. Godzilla then thaws out after the battle and meets up with Junior. But not even 2 minutes later, our villain erupts into his final form.
That's the adult Destroyer. I've never seen anything so big.
Destroyer? But the box says Destoroyah. Supposedly they could have trademarked the word Destroyer, so they said, fuck it, we'll just leave the name the same in the movie, but change it everywhere else. Anyways, Destoroyah is pretty sweet. I mean, look at him, he's basically a giant demon. He ends up railing over Godzilla, snatches Junior, and drops him on a building, which actually kills him. Yeah, Godzilla's son dies in this movie. Naturally, this pisses off Godzilla and the weird telepathic lady. But never mind her, because this is where the real fight begins. The fight is awesome, not because of the special effects, but just look at the monsters. Destoroyah is huge, Godzilla's glowing red, and both are fuming with steam from pure energy. This shit is just utterly awesome. Destoroyah is regarded as one of the most powerful monsters of all time for a reason. Along with his beam, he's able to use an energy sword from his horn, and is even able to drag Godzilla around the battlefield. Oh shit, isn't Godzilla supposed to be exploding soon? I totally forgot. G-Center deploys their flying freeze ray while Godzilla literally powers up and takes on Destoroyah. God damn, this is awesome. And this is when things get crazy. Godzilla starts to literally melt down and has one of the most powerful atomic breaths of all time. Destoroyah tries to retreat, but he's brought down by the army? Granted, he was weakened by Godzilla, but one of the most powerful Godzilla villains is brought down by lasers from the army? Strange. And this is where the movie actually gets really sad. Godzilla gives some energy to his son, but he doesn't get up. The army unloads their freeze lasers while Godzilla helplessly melts down. It's pretty emotional, actually. Just listen. This is fucking sad. This must have been quite the scene if you believe this was the last Godzilla movie. And a lot of people did. I was too young to know, but apparently it was all over the news that Godzilla was dying in this movie. And it wasn't even being released in America. They even play a montage of old Godzilla footage at the end. This is a lot of people's favorite Godzilla movie, and for good reason. The monsters are sweet and the action's awesome. But that intense ending, oh my god. It's sad to see the King of the Monsters go. Good thing he comes back only 5 years later.